Hi family, thank you for joining. Today I am doing something a little bit new for those of you who are already a part of the community. Oh, okay. Hi Soleil. This is my cat. But for those of you who are new to the community, then you know I normally do monthly readings. I normally do a seasonal reading, just checking in with the collective to see what the energy has to hold for us within the season. I want to try something new and fresh, so this time around we're going to go ahead and do a monthly intuitive read. I'll be pulling some cards to see what energy has been lingering around basically in the past month, but also checking in to see what the theme of the new month is and some goals we can set for our mind, body, and spirit. So if that is something you can get with, then please stay tuned and go ahead and meet me in the reading. Today I'm going to be pulling from the Muse Tarot. This is such a colorful deck, which is perfect for the theme right now of the month of August. This will be our last month of summer, so why not dive into something a little bit more colorful. So today you guys are going to see me go ahead and bless this deck. But yeah, how have you guys been? I'm hoping that you are treating yourself well. I hope that this journey has been full of grace and that you continue to honor yourself. I know I am. And I am super excited just to check back in with you guys, pull some cards. It's been a while. So yeah, we're just going to set intentions that we hear messages for our highest and greatest good, protection from our spirit guides, ancestors, and our higher self. We want to tap into the month of August 2024, looking in to see not only what worked for us this month, what hasn't worked, but also what is the theme of August moving forward and some goals we can set for our highest and greatest good. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Hi, Soleil. Mom is working. Okay, we don't care. For those of you who haven't seen my new kitty, this is Soleil. She is a new fur baby to our family. She is very playful, feisty, just big energy. So yes, now you've seen her. But okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I already went ahead and blessed the deck, cut the deck. So we're going to go ahead and do a pull for the month of August 2024, tapping into the collective energy to see what this month has to hold for us. So let's just jump straight into it. You might see little cat hairs flying around because she just won't stay off my desk. As much as I try, you know, cats are wild. They do what they want. And I don't fight her. That's my bestie. So let's go ahead and see what this energy has for us. So first I want to go ahead and pull cards to see for last month what worked for us. So in the first place, I'm going to see what's worked for the collective last month, what did not work for us, and then what did we learn. So let's go ahead and pull for what worked for the collective last month. One of the big things about moving into energy, you always have to look at where you're coming from. So I'm a big advocate for looking back into our past, history, and kind of moving from there. So we got these cards coming out. Bam. Next, we're going to look at what did not work for us. Okay, that was very clear. And what did we learn this past month? What did we learn? I feel like this one wants to come out. Ooh. What did we learn? Clarification for the High Priestess. Okay, thank you. So let's get into this first, and then we will move into looking at what we have going on right now. So let's just go ahead and start for last month. and then we'll move into the rest. So starting in the first position, the question was what we worked on this past month. So as you can see here, we have the Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands. We have the Sun card here and the Ace of Voices. So let's just take a minute to sit with this. I'm actually going to go ahead and flip these so we're not distracted by that energy right now, and we can just read what we have here. So what did work for us? Knight of Inspiration, the Sun card, and the Ace of Voices. So I feel like just right off the bat, this is very warm energy, very active energy. I think there are a lot of things that we learned about ourselves this past month, kind of working through not only how we show up in our ideas, but I'm really feeling like our experience. There was a lot of clarity in the experiences that we had, kind of feeling what feels right for us, what feels warm for us, and what we want to experience more of. So I'm definitely getting a sense of a lot of action that took place in July. And so with this, it's kind of reminding me that like, it's like when the wheels start to warm up and the gears start shifting and things start moving. So I think this is definitely an acknowledgement of a lot of different things being experienced this last month. Sometimes we can get kind of caught up in the mode of stillness or inaction or not feeling inspired, lack of motivation. And I feel like last month definitely was not the case with the Ace of Voices, which is our Ace of Swords here. This is the purity of ideas, and this is the purity of just a lot of thoughts and creative things coming forth for us. So one thing for me is whatever I pour into creatively, I try to do consistently. However, sometimes the consistency is hard to grab hold of. And I think for the collective in July, we were way more active than the months prior. So things have really been heating up. And that is something that Spirit wants to acknowledge as something that was favorable or something that was in alignment with our collective path. Is a lot of stuff has been heating up and moving. So it also feels like kind of like this lightness that I'm sensing in my chest of like joy and giddiness. It feels very childlike, and it almost feels like unconventional. I think the word is unconventional that I'm looking for. But a lot of unconventional actions, a lot of unconventional experiences, and kind of just like getting out there and just like having fun, making a mess of things. And Spirit wants to kind of acknowledge like that as a beauty and something that they encourage from our past actions last month. What did not work for us? So here we have the Knight of Emotions. So a lot of Knight energy, a lot of messages coming through here. And then we also have here the Justice card. Wow, okay. So sitting with this, the first thing that comes to my mind is a balancing act. And so I think sometimes when we look at the Justice card, we get caught up in this idea of being the server of justice. But what I like to think of it as is more so, it's a karmic thing. It's a karmic thing. So this year has been very karmic for us. And I feel like sometimes there's this nobility complex, is what I'm hearing, this nobility complex of always feeling like you have to show up in a certain way, or that doing the right thing and kind of like bearing the brunt of it all can seem like the right way to maintain balance. But I also feel like sometimes when you continue to show up and pour into places or to try to make things work and just kind of be overly invested in things, you can find yourself let down when it's not met with reciprocity, is kind of what I'm hearing here. So I feel like even in the midst of kind of like putting ourselves out there, trying to have new experiences, new ideas, and having fun, There is a lightheartedness in that, but there's also like a realization of recognizing what is serving that and what is kind of pouring into that. So the thing I'm getting is kind of like when you show up and you're down to have a picnic, or you're having a beach day with the girls, or you're going to play basketball with the guys, but you're the one who has to bring the snacks. You're the one who makes sure everyone has water and is staying hydrated. You know, you're offering to pick up your friends and be the driver. You're offering to, you know, it's just a lot of offering, almost to a point of like imbalance. And so I think that sometimes when you continue to show up for people, especially when you're doing it from like the kindness of your heart or from a good place of intention, it can be taken advantage of, and it does not serve you to serve others who are not capable of the reciprocity. So I think this is really a message or acknowledgement of pouring into empty cups. And it can also kind of be an acknowledgement of pouring into places where your cup's not being refilled. It's kind of like you're showing up and providing the service, or showing up in the ways that make other people comfortable in this space. And it's from a good place of intention. However, it's not actually serving us. And so Spirit is kind of acknowledging like, yes, it's good to show up with a lightness of heart and, you know, with good intentions and ideas and trying to be active, but be careful when you go to have that good time that you are not over extending or burning yourself out, and that you maintain this sense of balance in those interactions, those relationships, those environments as well. So that is something we all have to be mindful of. I pulled to see what did we learn for this past month, and let me move this. So what did we learn this past month? And the first thing that came up was the High Priestess. And so in pulling clarification for the High Priestess here, we got the Fool card. And we also have the Page of Emotions. I'm surprised it's not the Knight, but the Knight's already here. The Page of Emotions, reversed. So High Priestess and the Fool and the Page of Emotions reversed. And take a second just to sit with this energy. Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind is I'm seeing and I'm feeling the sense of kind of having your hand involved in everything. So the whole question for this is, what did we learn this past month? And I'm still coming back to this sense of balance. And it almost feels like knowing in this fresh start, in this new journey of like action, of involvement, of putting your best foot forth and trying to get your hands back in the dirt. Sometimes you can lose track of the need to kind of like come back home into yourself, and to really spend that time pouring back into yourself and connecting with yourself. And this to me, with the Page of Emotions reversed, let me show you what it looks like upright so you see what we have here. But with this Page of Emotions reversed, I feel like this can be again, a nod to the overextending of yourself emotionally and being more too available. Sometimes we become like too available. And I just saw here that her shirt is an octopus with a whole bunch of arms. And that brings me back to this idea of having our hand in so many things, trying to show up in so many ways for so many people, and trying to just you know, be the knight in shining armor, be the person who shows up for people and wholeheartedly doing it with good intentions. While it is a beautiful way to show up, if you're not careful about where you pour that energy into, and you don't use discernment, you're very easily going to be burnt out, you know? And so I think this is showing us as we show up in these times, especially last month, of action and moving in action. You have to be very careful of using your discernment to pour into the spaces that really serve you, and really sit with yourself and use discernment to know where to show up with this energy. Because sometimes when you're being so connected to source, you don't feel burnt out until you're burnt the fuck out. Like, really. And this page of emotions, which is the Page of Cups, being reversed, is this burnout feeling that I'm experiencing here. And so just kind of being able to free yourself of the expectations and the burdens of how people expect you to show up, and not allowing it to stop you from being who you are, but just being more mindful about who you show up for, what you show up for, what you're pouring into, and what you're doing. And I think last month, kind of, we're getting back to this space of being Stella got her groove back. Back in this space of like having our groove back, but still having to keep those lessons that we've learned from past seasons and past experiences fresh on our mind, so that we don't fall back into a similar cycle. It's using the knowledge that you learned about yourself and your experience to kind of maintain the fulfillment and not allow that cup to be depleted how it has been in the past. So that is the lesson of the past month of July. So let's go ahead and pull some cards for this month of August. Thank you, Spirit, for that walkthrough, what the collective has experienced. Let's go ahead and see what is the theme for the month of August. So what is the theme for this month? What is the theme for this month? Okay. So we got quite a few cards here. I'm going to go ahead and adjust so we can see everything. And hopefully you guys can see everything well. Yet again, I'm always trying new setups with the cards just to kind of, you know, get my groove on. Normally when I read for people, I am on a one-to-one basis, so it's a lot easier to set things up. But when I'm reading for collective energy, there tend to be a lot more cards coming out and a lot more going on. So I definitely want to try to make sure that I'm able to serve and service everything that's coming up in these readings. So what is the theme for the month of August? As you can see here, we have the Hermit card. We have the Temperance card. The Tower card reversed. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not reversed. It's right. The Tower card, if it were reversed, it'd be this way, but it's not. That might be a message all on its own. And the Seven of Wands, Seven of Inspiration. So one moment to sit with this energy. Okay. Yet again, I'm feeling this sense of balance, and that's the overwhelming theme, I'm pretty sure, of August is the balance. And we're taking some of the lessons and experiences from this past month, and we're going to be able to apply it into this month. It's funny too, because even with August, we're moving into Leo season, and Leo is all about that big sun energy. And so balancing our energy is definitely a key point. So The message here I'm getting is filtering also. So it's like this filtering of ourselves. I just got this image of like a steeping of a cup of coffee, like when you have all the grounds and you're putting it in and you're putting the hot water in and it's slowly coming out, and it's this filtering, right? I feel like there has to be a cool down phase as well for ourselves, and really finding what that looks like for us. I think that this month is going to really teach us and show us how to take that moment for ourselves of me time and to refill our own cups. And to kind of recharge ourselves in source energy, recharge ourselves in the ways that we usually practice. Self-care and self-love. I think that self-care and self-love is going to be a big key point for a lot of people this month. And again, this is a time where there's a lot of action going on. There are a lot of things going on in terms of maybe work. I'm also feeling like this, I just feel like back to school, like school time is coming. And so kind of finding and solidifying a sense of balance before it comes, like preparation, recharging. It's like when you're refilling up your school supplies, refilling up the snacks and the things, the clothes. It's like this refilling up, recharging, and kind of like balancing out the things that may have been depleted during this summer, these past few months. And I think that can become overwhelming sometimes. So this is kind of a reminder to me what I'm getting in the midst of kind of all the action and waiting for everything to kind of come together. You have to maintain this sense of peace and kind of like keeping a hold of your wits and your standing, and putting your best foot forth is a beautiful thing, but also just kind of being cautious of this energy, this burnout energy. And in order to avoid kind of having your hand in too many different things, when there's so much to do, it's hard not to feel like, you know, you're trying to hold everything together, like you're just waiting for everything to come together, trying to pull it all together in a sense. This isn't Ten of Wands, but it definitely feels very Ten of Wands to me, especially here next to this Tower card. But this is the energy that we're trying to balance out. We want to avoid the burnout. You know, we've been learning how to come back into ourselves and use discernment and reassess where to place our energy. And this is where you learn that. The Hermit and the Temperance card is all about the inner work and how you are able to take that inner peace and understanding and confidence and step that into the external, and how we face our family, our friends, our work, our expectations, our responsibilities. So it's kind of like that balance in between your internal and how you allow that to influence your external. I want to pull a card of clarification for the Tower. I remember I saw it as reverse, though it's not. It's the illusion. She's standing straight up on this rock. So give a little clarification. What is the Tower moment this August? I never ever get a solid answer when I clarify the Tower. Maybe it's just me as a reader. For those of you who also read, or maybe you're more experienced readers, I don't claim to, you know, to be the end all be all know all ever. I'd love to know, what is your interpretation on the Tower card? I feel like every person I know, my friends who read tarot and mentors, they all have different beliefs in the meaning of the Tower. For me personally, the one thing I know about the Tower in my experience with tarot is that it's completely out of our control. Whether it's good, bad, whatever, there's no good or bad, right? But whatever the experience is that is related to the Tower, it's something that's always completely out of our control, which isn't really a bad thing necessarily. It's just something that it needs to happen or is going to happen to shock the system or to kind of like reset something. So pulling clarification, I got the Knight of Materials. We have Nine of Inspiration here on the bottom of the card, which is the Nine of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, I think this is a lot to do with the holding together of things. And I really just heard like, me monies. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Like Mr. Crab, me monies, me monies. Like it feels like there's like a lot of unexpected things that are coming up. And it almost feels, I don't want to say like an unpreparedness, but this daunting kind of feeling of like, there's just so much to do. There's so much to do. I just keep hearing like there's so much to do. It's like this hurry and a lot of action of rush. And I think that's why the temperance and the balance of our internal is so important, in knowing how to have the discernment on where to pour our cups and who to show up for. And, you know, the reciprocity is so important because there is a lot coming ahead. There's a lot on your plate. There's a lot to do. And I feel like it's fun to show up as like the life of the party and having a good time, but then it's like, okay, it's time to get back to business kind of feeling. But don't allow that to kind of damper your energy. Like balance that. There's balance between continuing to show up and have fun and enjoy the new ideas, the new experiences, and the good times, but also like that collective energy where you come back to yourself, you collect, you assess your finances, you assess your situations, you create a timeline so that all the little things that come up, you're capable of, you know, providing a plan for, planning for, and kind of having this general idea, this general action plan moving forward of how you're going to kind of sew things up or wrap things together. I hope that makes sense. So August is definitely like, it's funny, it's the opposite of the quiet before the storm. This is like the party before the cleanup. Like this is the party before the cleanup energy. And there's so much fun and joy and like experiences to continue to be had here. But there's also like this moment of like taking a break, of like regrouping, balancing, kind of like reassessing and being very clear on where to focus your energy now, if that makes sense. So I'm interested to see what the divine wants us to set intention for. I'm going to go ahead and pull 3 cards, one for mind, body, and soul. So what are our goals for the month of August, keeping in mind the ideas of balance, of reciprocity, of planning? Let's start with mind. What is the goal for the mind this August? Where can we set our thoughts and ideas for our highest and greatest good? I just heard like have a good attitude. Ooh, the moon card reverse. Interesting. 5 of emotions. Can't make this up. 5 of emotions. This is the sense of loss in a sense. It can be a sense, not of loss in a sense of like someone passing on, but kind of like having to let go or say goodbye before we want to. Things coming to an end. And sometimes it's hard to kind of come to grips with that and accept that. And then even just with the moon card reverse, this is a very still card. With it being reversed, like there's something here that we are not wanting to see. We're in with this card here, Queen of Emotions, Queen of Cups here. The 5 of emotions and the moon card reversed. There's something we're refusing to kind of let go of. There's something we're refusing to see or acknowledge. And when it comes to goals for this August for our mental health and mental well-being, it's really time to release that. It's really time to kind of pony up, face the facts, and kind of acknowledge where we're at. There's nothing wrong with sitting in the feeling and kind of understanding that, you know, it's time for something to come to an end, for time for something to start, time for a change, right? But it's kind of when you refuse to acknowledge or see it or release it that it becomes this moon card reverse energy. So there's something mentally this August that we need to really work on letting go. And I'm still coming back to this energy here of this Justice card and this Page of Emotions reversed. This energy here is the reassessment of the karmic, of the balance, of the reciprocity, of the things that burn you out. These can be loved ones. These can be family members. These can be your best friends that you just went to Miami with, but now it's time to get back to business. Now you got to take care of your kids. Now you can't be outside in the streets all of the hot August nights going to the club, drinking with the homies. Now, I'm not saying you can't have fun. Don't get me wrong. And this is not a shot. This is just how Spirit is coming forth. Like, there are some things, that you're going to have to let go. And it can't create too much stress or worry mentally. You have to accept it, that this is kind of the way that we have to flow moving forward so that we can balance ourselves out and prepare and plan for the next steps to come, for everything that needs to be done. It's been fun, having a good time, having a fun time, but there are some things that have to be put down. There are some things that you can't have your hand in, and that kind of comes back to the discernment here of figuring out what that looks like for us. It can become detrimental if we don't cut out some of the things that are, creating too much, taking up too much time and space in our minds and in our plans. And I very strongly believe the mental is very much attached to the financial, because what you think and how you see your situation, it has a lot to do with what will come from the situation. So the goal for this month is really to release those things, to walk away from those things that we are no longer in the space to engage in. Okay? How about for our body? What is the goal for our body for wellness this August? Spirit, speak to us about our body. Okay. So we have the Seven of Voices. This is the Seven of Swords. Very interesting. Eight of Voices. Oh, you can't make this up. Back to back, honey. Back to back, right on the base. This one jumped from the middle. So Seven of Voices, Eight of Voices. Let's go ahead and take that. Six of Emotions. Okay. So the goal for our body this August. I want to sit with this for a second. This is very interesting because this is very mental energy. And again, I was just saying your mind and how you see things has a lot to do with our experiences. So I just want to see how this ties into the physical. Okay. There's this feeling of like being crossed or just like angry, deception of, I almost feel like someone's like not being able to spend the time doing for themselves what they want. And it's bringing like this feeling of, not discouragement, but kind of just like anger. And I'm seeing like, okay, so I'm seeing two different sides to this. So sorry, I'm trying to process everything that's coming in. Let me work with the first one first. The first energy that I'm tapping into is this feeling of almost like the busy mom. This is the busy mom where, you have your hands run around and everything, right? And you kind of feel like there's so much to be done, so much going on that you're not able to kind of pour into yourself. I'm not saying letting yourself go, but this is kind of this energy where it just feels like I don't have time for me because I have to pour so much into everything else. And I'm really wanting to call you back to this Hermit card and Temperance energy. I think Spirit is kind of presenting a lot of things that you could let go, but yourself is not one. And I want you to hear that I want you to hear that again. Spirit said again and again. There are so many things going on here that you can let go. Yourself is not one. So I want you to revisit how you are pouring into yourself, because I almost feel like there's this idea of being like on guard, like, oh, I didn't have time to do my hair today, or I look like shit today. Yeah, because, you know, I had to run so-and-so to this game and this and that, and I just have no time. And, you know, like it's kind of just like this lack of being able to tend to yourself and take care of yourself, and Spirit does not want that for you. But I also think it comes back to how you see your experience right now, and Spirit is saying, like, it's not as bad as it seems. Like, you're putting 10 on 2. I'm sorry, Spirit said it, not me. Don't come for me. But you have the time. You are so busy doing for others, showing up for others, and engaging in Knight of Cups energy, that you need to kind of come back to this discernment. Like, take that big clean shower and just like really plan out a way to kind of walk away from these things that aren't serving you. Letting go. There's some things you just can't do anymore. It's okay to say no to your kids. Someone needs to hear that. It's okay to say no. Your kids will survive. I know you're trying to pour into them and give to them more than you were given. I know you want to provide to them experience. You want to take them to do things, and that's great and all. And that's a beautiful thing. But don't forget to take care of yourself as well, because you taking care of you will also take care of them and will bring so much more light back into your life. But you have to be willing to say no to others to say yes to yourself. That's a whole message for somebody when it comes to August and how we need to be treating our body. Now, there's another message here. I'm getting this energy of like glam girl. Like, this is almost like the extreme version on the other side. This is the person who's kind of so caught up in the aesthetic of hot girl summer. And Spirit is saying there's so much more you should be working on right now. Again, this is not a shot. I'm just reading and this is the message that's coming through. Spirit is saying there's so much more you should be working on right now, and that the mask will only last for so long. The mask will only be cute for so long, because outside of the pretty picture that you're presenting and all the effort that you've been putting into how you look, you've been avoiding that shadow work. There's some things that you're refusing to see and acknowledge outside of the physical appearance of the body that you need to really address. And I think this is kind of nodding back to the mental health, to be honest, because mental health can be a part of the body. This could even be trauma. I'm not even gonna lie. Something could have happened, whether in the past or recently, that you haven't been able to really process, and so you've been pouring yourself into the easier part of making yourself feel good. And Spirit wants you to dig a little deeper with that. Whew, that was a heavier message. Okay, so how about Spirit? What is the goal for our souls, our spirit? How we can connect better to our higher selves, our spirit team, our purpose for August. Come through with clarity for Spirit. Okay. Anything else? Okay. All right. Ace of Emotions. This is Ace of Cups energy right here. It's funny because we have Muse of Emotions. So in this deck, Muse is kind of like the king. It's the highest card of the court cards, you could say. So Muse of Emotions, King of Cups, and Ace of Cups. We have a lot of wand energy here. Also, this fell out as well. We have Queen of Materials, Queen of Pentacles. She did come in reverse though. So let's start with the original. Muse of Emotions. I'm going to move our spirit cards over here so we can see them better. So Muse of Emotions, this is definitely giving pour back into yourself. Do what feels good for you. Again, coming back to this idea of temperance, of balance. This is someone who is very secure in who they are, their well-being. You have this pure sense of love, and this is nothing new because I feel like there's already a lot of energy here where you've been putting your best foot forth and you've had good intentions. But to me, this is like self. This is like pouring back into self, pouring back into your cup, being in a good space and fulfillment where you can show up for everyone else, especially in the midst of everything that's going on. There's a lot that keeps coming back to Pentacles, even though a lot of this energy here, we don't have many Pentacles. We actually only have 2 Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles was here for clarification for the Tower. Again, there's a lot that needs to be done. And you don't feel like, it almost feels like too much. That's what I'm getting here with this Queen of Pentacles energy. And so Spirit wants you to pour back into yourself, to get yourself back in a space of abundance. And not just abundance financially, but like emotionally, mentally, physically, like to feel good about you, to feel good about where you're at. And so for this month, you really want to focus on recharging yourself and pouring back into her, because as Divine Feminine, because this is very much giving Divine Feminine energy, this whole reading, quite honestly, is giving fem energy, and I'm here for it, honey, because Hot Girl Summer was a thing, is a thing, will be a thing, right? In whatever way that looks like for you. But just don't forget that, like, everything starts with you. It all starts with you. Your house life starts with you. Your business starts with you. Your wellness starts with you. And so how you feel about yourself is directly related to your ability to show up for yourself and for others and for your responsibilities. So just making sure that you do what you need to do to pour into yourself, to really take that time and balance out, and to have discernment with what needs to be removed and let go, and what's not serving you, and what you don't need to show up for, and what you need to say no to, and what you really need to say yes to. Like, it's just giving very much balance and discernment, but not just mentally, but like really choosing these things. It's like an action. It's an action of love. It's an action of fulfilling. It's very much an action energy, because this will be the foundation of protection moving forward, as we finish up the summer and we get back into the swing of things. We about to be swinging, honey. It's about to be fall, okay? Like, you know, time is of the essence. Things are moving and there's so much to be done. So kind of recharge yourself first. Fill yourself up first so that you can create a plan and you can actually execute that plan without being burnt out. That's the key here. That's going to require that you let some things go. That's going to require that you finally pay attention to the things that need to be paid attention to. And it's also going to require a lot of discernment and reflection. So yeah, big key buzzwords for August to me is definitely balance. Big on balance. I'm also thinking big on no, because we've been saying a lot of yes. Saying yes to yourself. Let's not say no. Let's say yes to yourself and balance. I really love that. I love that for us. I do. Okay, honeys. I want to pull one more card. I normally pull, let me see. I have a lot going on. I normally pull from, these are just, I need to organize my cards. I have most of the cards that I use regularly here, but I just need to find a better system. I want to pull from the Starseed Oracle deck that I always pull from when I do my readings for this collective in the channel. And so, oh snap, I done lost a card. Okay, hold on. Okay, we back. I want to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle for you guys and go ahead and read that to close out this August reading. I hope that this has been really enjoyable, new experience for collective energy. I definitely want to come and be of service reading cards more often, because it is something that I do for myself often, and I do for loved ones and for my friends and for clients. So I want to extend myself that way to our community. If it's something you're interested in, maybe you're not into tarot, that's cool. Maybe you're just here for my fashion videos. Somehow you're a little curious. Thanks for peeking, boo. But you know, take what serves you. So August 2024, one clear card to sum up this month. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, Hiraeth. Sorry, y'all. This I could be saying this wrong. Longing for home, homesick for the stars. Interesting. I was not expecting that. Hiraeth. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay. So this is the final read for our month of August. It says longing for home, homesick for the stars. Hiraeth is a Welsh word that is difficult to translate, but it refers to a certain longing or homesickness, a yearning for a home or a place to which we cannot return. This unexplainable, unshakable longing for home is common in starseeds and old souls. Perhaps you've had it since birth. For some, it's a distant memory of our planet, galaxy, or star system in the universe that their soul remembers and yearns to return to. A place they may have experienced more than Earth. For others, it's a longing for the unity of Source, a remembering of interconnected oneness. This yearning can lead some starseeds to travel, searching all corners of the planet to find a physical place that feels more like home. For others, it can manifest as a need to find home in people, communities, and relationships, a journey to find somewhere they truly belong. If you resonate with this yearning for home, but don't really know where home is, you're being invited to remember that your soul chose to be on Earth. You're being called to fully commit and embodied in your life. You're being called to fully commit to embodying your life. You're being reassured that you didn't come here alone, and that your soul consciously decided to experience what it's like to be a soul in a human body on this planet at this time. You're being called to anchor all of your presence, your personality, your soul, and your spirit in the here and now, and to fully commit to living this life right now, to commit to putting 2 feet completely in it. How can you commit more fully to your life? Interesting. How can you commit more fully into your life? I feel like there's something else here for us. I really do. I want to pull another card. I'm going to pull from this deck, Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle deck. This was a gift to me from a friend of mine who knew I loved tarot. And she's actually a very Christian friend. She's very religious, but she's also very open-minded and loving. And you know, she accepts me for who I am, and I accept her for who she is. I feel like we can all be friends. We don't have to have the same beliefs. But anyways, I say all that to say she had got me this as a part of a beautiful gift for my birthday, and I was so shocked that she gifted it to me, because I was like, girl, I didn't even know you're like cool with it. But just because it's not something she does doesn't mean she doesn't love and respect and honor me. And that's reciprocity, honey. That right there is reciprocity. Okay, so these are hard to shuffle though. They're huge. Wait a minute. Let me see. I'm gonna go like this. Okay, one more card, Spirit, to close this out. Give us a little more clarification on home. Home within self for the month of August. This feels so odd. Oh, okay. Forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Okay. Home, coming home to self, forgiveness. This looks very sweet. This energy looks very sweet, very refreshing, very restorative. And here we have the number 14, which is a 5. So it's like a shift and a change. Forgiveness will set you free. Sorry, guys. I don't even know if I showed you these cards. I'm like spasmatic. Very much wand energy going on. Anyways, here we are. Forgiveness will set you free. When someone you care about hurts you, or you witness injustice and pain in the world, anger and resentment can feel justified. Perhaps you've been harmed by actions or words of another. When we experience trauma, these hurtful actions can have a lasting effect on us. Chances are there's a situation and person you need to forgive. This person that comes to your mind, the first person that comes to your mind, is an accurate person to focus on. Forgiveness is not saying what you did is okay and I will forgive you. Wait, let me start over. The first person that comes to your mind is an accurate person to focus on. Forgiveness is not saying what you did is okay and I will forget about it. It is simply an energetic change, releasing the hold it has been imprisoning you. Releasing the hold that has been imprisoning you. By embracing forgiveness, you can also embrace peace, hope, gratitude, and joy. If you're having difficulty forgiving, focus on your willingness to move forward with more peace. Then consider how forgiveness can lead you down the path of well-being. When you forgive, you've made a choice to let go of resentment and anger. Forgiveness is needed right now for you to feel better. It's highly possible the person you need to forgive is yourself. Ooh, I'll shade of that. Divine assignment. You may be stuck in a vicious cycle of self-sabotage, blame, or shame. Do you feel guilty for something you did or did not do? Be kind to yourself and practice self-love and compassion. The words you say about yourself matter. Recognize that everything is always in right order and you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Take guided action to create a better, more aligned outcome. Take guided action to create a better, more aligned outcome. If you're prone to dwelling on negative feelings, forgiveness will only make the situation more challenging. Spend some time focusing on all the good things that have come out of the situation. Make a list of what you have learned and release expectations. Be willing to forgive yourself and others, and you will be set free. Coming home to yourself, coming home within self. Thank you for that clarification, Spirit. Oh, there's more. Additional meaning. Further guidance can be drawn from the leopard energy in this design. People with the leopard totem are self-confident, wise, and courageous in the face of adversity. They have a great deal of personal power and tap into the leopard for guidance on how to forgive. Also note the spirit animal is the healer of deep wounds, which means the leopard will bring old issues to resolution through reclaiming your lost power. What do I need to forgive myself for? Yes. This brings me back to the body. I think the body may be a big thing, and also the mind to focus on this month. I think there are a lot of ways that we continue to show up in ways that don't always serve us. We show up in the ways that people need us to. And Spirit is really, really pushing us this month in August to let those things go, to really carve out the time for ourselves. Where's the Hermit card? Bam. And to create a balanced home within ourselves where we can kind of acknowledge and have a discernment to let go of the things that are burning us out and that are not reciprocated, and not being angry about it, but instead choosing different and kind of moving forward from there. So yeah, that's beautiful. August is going to be busy, my loves. My lovers and friends. I hope this really serves you, and I hope that you guys are able to take the time and really sit with yourself. Moving forward, I will continue to do these monthly check-ins so we can see how this month kind of panned out for us and see how we can pivot and move forward in the next month. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say peace out to you guys, send in my love to you always. I hope you continue to learn yourself and love yourself more and more, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye. What is it that the kids do now? Bye. Peace out.